Well, good morning to you, good morning. It is Sunday and I've got up this morning and we had a slight frost overnight. So I'm just sort of looking at the fruit on the quince tree, wondering if that got away with it all right. I've just been chatting to my neighbour, I should say mon voisin, my neighbour who lives there, and he was saying, oh, you know, it's terrible. A lot of the fruit will have been killed on the trees. But we agreed, you know, c'est la vie, c'est la vie. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, there is. You know, you can cover things up with netting and cloth, and you can light smudge pots if you've got a big orchard. But they seem to see, under these trees they get a certain amount of shelter, so hopefully they will be all right. Yep. Well, what is, and I need to put my collar and tie on this morning because it's Sunday and I'm going to a little town called Paulnay. It's fun, isn't it? When the sun's on the windscreen, you can see how dirty it is. Oh dear. What are we doing? Well, I'm going to Paulnay. The way things work here, there's several, I'll say towns. You might think of them as villages, towns, whatever. They've all got a church, but they haven't got a priest for every church. And in truth, they haven't got sufficient people to have a proper service in every church every Sunday. So the service is held 9:30 on a Sunday in different churches, and today it's the town of Paulnay. Now Paulnay is actually smaller than Azay-le-Ferron, but it's got a delightful little church, and if I get there sufficiently early we might be able to have a look at it. That sun is nice, isn't it? It's chilly. We had an overnight frost, but yeah, the sun's lovely. Now, I think it's always good to know where you are, so if we go down that road, down the D18, we come to Martizay, and oh, where are we gone? We go to that road, the D925, it goes to Azay-le-Ferron, and that way to Mézières-en-Brenne. But here we are in Paulnay. Sun's in the wrong place for this shot, really. Can anyone get up there and shift it round a bit? This is a very, very ancient church, and outside the church are some very ancient stone sarcophaguses. Not very big, are they? I guess they were big enough for the people that was in them. But just look at this gorgeous church. Always things to see in these old buildings. We'll check the notice board, make sure we've got this right. Yep, we're in the right place. And the good thing about getting here early is that I'm not disturbing anybody by filming. Just inside the door is an ancient stone font. The idea is that you remind yourself that you enter the church through baptism. Now, one of the features of this church is over the altar, which stands in a round. Now, I think of it as an apse. I'm sure someone will correct me on that. There are these wonderful, wonderful paintings. Somewhere in the history it will tell us when they were done. But it's quite a feature. And some wonderful carpentry. Choir stalls. Was your meadow? But this church will be filling slowly, ready for the service. Look at that wonderful set of paintings on that arch. Now, while people are sorting out what they need to sort out for the service, I thought I'd just take a moment to look at this. Now, some of the murals haven't survived the tests of time, as it were. And there's St. Joan, of course. And, of course, the Blessed Virgin. I really ought to ask who some of these statues represent. I'm sure if I knew enough, chap with a palm frond in one hand, I'm sure there's some symbolism there that I should know who that is, but I don't. Oh, there we are. Back chez moi. See, I am doing some work, honest. Oh, that red paint takes some shifting. But that door will look nice when it's ivory. That's the plan. Now, you know where I've been. It's a Sunday morning, and of course people will tell you that you gain a great deal from going to where I've just been. Some people say that, some people say it's not the case. Whatever, each to their own. But look what I got. it went in. An armchair. One of the ladies that sits with me and makes sure I know what hymn we're supposed to be singing, she's sold a house, and she's got this little problem that she's got stuff to get rid of. And yeah, she said, would I like an armchair? And you know how these things go. It would have been rude not to. All I've got to do now is work out where I'm going to put it. But there we are. Time for tea, I think.